Been listening to them lies, I hate you switching up as if I can't truly be in love. So I won't let your standards abuse me. So if that means me choosing you, I lose me. I'll be yelling next like, excuse me. You go right ahead and do you, baby, cause I'll do me. Oh, no, that ain't no chip on my shoulders. I'm just simply saying if I ain't your cup of tea, then drink soda. That's right, it's finally me and I'm bolder. So them counterfeit relationships, I won't lose sleep. Finally me, for real. Walking in my purpose, it's good to be free, for real. Knowing that all things they are working, I finally see myself. I know that I am worth it. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally me. Ever been upgraded, voice your opinion? What if they don't like what I suggest? What if they get offended? But ain't it crazy how fear can misguide your true intentions when you can be the very person in position someone else for winning? You be feeling like your predicament somewhat hypocritic. I mean, if I ain't got it, how in the world I'ma tell you to get it? See, but we all play a part, baby. We all different. You just gotta decide what you gonna do with what you've been given. See, I learned that being humble show don't mean timid. And I learned that if you stumble, you can still finish. See, you ain't got to hide behind nobody. Stop pretending. If you really want it, then get off your behind and get it. So what if they said, don't mean he ain't give you vision? Shoot, I made them haters lemonade when they gave me lemons. What you got? This beautiful baby, start to finish. Differently and wonderfully made, created and finally me, for real. Walking in my purpose, it's good to be free, for real. Knowing that all things they are working, I finally see myself. I know that I am worth it. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally, I begin to try to convince her her work was irrelevant, but God defends her days. So my good outweighs my bad days. He knows the plans he has for me. I won't let nothing get in my way. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Finally me, yeah. Finally me, finally me, yeah. Finally me, I go get it. Single.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? It's fine. First of all, it's finally me for real Friday. Everybody, come on in. I trust that everybody had an amazing week, an amazing day. It's finally me for real Friday. And finally, me for real Friday is a movement, not a monument. It's a movement to empower, equip, and encourage women to be who they were authentically created to be. And I'm so excited about today. Listen, do me a favor, and you guys to invite your friends and your family. Tell them come on in on Finally Me for Real Friday. Reposted, shared on IG, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you've got. It's going to be an amazing, amazing next 45 minutes. And I started off with the one and only, many of you guys, every Friday when I start off with this bad music, this club music, this jamming music. And y'all always asking, hey, who's that sister? Who's that sister? Who wrote that song? Who sang that song? It's the one and only. So I brought her here today. What's up, Keya Smith?
Oh, Dr. Chaz, how you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, which part of the country are you?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm in the United States.
All right, North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina. Fantastic. Hey, listen, thanks so very much for producing this song. I got to give credit to your pastor, my best friend, the Bishop Rosie O'Neill. The Bishop Rosie O'Neill. Last year when we were doing our conference, our Finally Me for Real conference, I said, Bishop, listen, this is all about finally, and she hollered at you. Well, tell the story. How did you write this song, Finally Me for Real?
I mean, well, of course, I got to shout her out too. I love my pastor, Bishop Rosie O'Neill. She's amazing. And, you know, of course, we came to the Finally Me conference. So before we even got there, I had a meeting with Bishop, and she was like, well, you know, we're going to the Finally Me for Real conference, so why don't you write a song about it? I'm like, you think so, Bishop? She was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so I'm writing it, right? And I called her. I said, well, Bishop, what do you think about this? She said, you look now, this is Finally Me for Real. You got to let them know if you ain't their cup of tea and tell them to drink soda. I said, wait a minute, Bishop, I got to use that right there. So even just the whole gist of writing that, just meeting with her, and then just going back to, you know, studying you and going to your website and just getting the whole, just everything about just being who you are, like for real. So it inspired the song. And as I was writing it, I mean, just starting to realize what was in me, you know, finally being me for real, you know. And then we get to the conference, which you did an amazing job. I mean, it was amazing. When I tell you, I can't wait for the next one. I cannot wait. And what resonated with me when you spoke on "Do You" and "Remember Me." Remember me. That hit me so hard. It was just knowing that, okay, Jesus said, "Take this and remember me." So it made me feel like He's in me. So remember who I was. Why have I been shunning myself or just being afraid of being who I truly am? Because Christ said, remember me. He's in me. You know, so I don't have to be afraid. Remember what I told you. Remember who I created you to be. Being me for real. So that conference like changed my life. It changed my life. So thank you so much, Dr. Jazz. Really.
Wow. Oh my goodness. First of all, we love the song, but thank you for sharing that behind the scene testimony, you know, about being authentically you. And yes, you can get the t-shirt, Do You, and I Remember Me, all on the Finally Me S Sportswear. And everybody know that anything you buy in the Finally Me S Sportswear.com, all the information is on all our platform. All of it is going to help those who are battling with COVID-19, particularly in the island. And Keya, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I called you and I'm like, listen, we got to do something with people who are not getting a stimulus check, who's not going to get any government kind of help or stuff like that. And I said, hey, listen, can we partner that if people download the song, if they buy the song, that the proceeds of the song can go to help those who are battling with COVID-19. And so I thank you so very much for consenting. Tell them how they can get that song. I think it's on Amazon. Go ahead, tell them how they can get that song.
Absolutely. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Google. On all digital media platforms, you can download it. Of course, I think it's on your website as well. You can check it out on Dr. Jazz website, but download it. It's everywhere. You can even stream it, Spotify, the whole 9 yards. It's there for you. So definitely check it out. And it's for a great cause. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of such an amazing cause just to help. Like, I'm grateful to serve. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, tell them how they can hear the rest of the other music. Tell them how they can follow you before we get out of here. Tell them how they can follow you.
Absolutely. You can check me out at Keya Smith Official. That's KEYA official.com. And you can connect with me on all of my social media handles, from Facebook to Instagram and YouTube, the whole 9 yards. And just check out and see what I'm doing and how I'm out here serving. And I'm grateful to be a part of the kingdom. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this and finally being me for real. Like, you know?
Oh my God. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Hey everybody, make sure you follow Keya Smith. She got some unbelievable music out there. It's gonna bless you guys tremendously. But thanks so very much for joining us for Finally Me for Real. Just a couple of brief announcements I want to give to you guys, and that is, of course, my Finally Me for Real conference is going to be this year. Yes, my Finally Me for Real conference is going to be here. It is. It's just going to be virtual. What did I say? It's just going to be virtual. So I'm excited about it. I'm so excited about it. My Finally Me for Real conference is going to be October the 8th through the 11th virtual, and the registration, everything is going to be available at the end of this month. Also, listen, I want you guys to use the hashtag FM, the number 4, with the word owl. FM, the number 4 with the word owl. And going across the screen, I want you guys to follow Finally Me for Real Women. Finally Me for Real Women. Now, all of the interviews are also uploaded on Twitter. So I need y'all to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, IG. Follow us on all of those platforms. And let's use the hashtag. So during our conversation, let's use the hashtag FM, the number 4 real. All right, the number 4 and the letter R, FM4 Real. Well, listen, I'm so excited about this special guest that I'm getting ready to bring on. She's my sister girlfriend. I just love her dearly. A couple of years ago, I met this sister and we started walking together. We started walking together. So I met this sister and we started walking together, and we would be walking in our community together. Oh gosh, we would walk around the golf track and just walk. And she's been a blessing to me, a joy to me. And I'm so glad and honored to have her. And it's none other than Dr. Celeste Owens. Hey, lady.
Hey. So good to be on the show, Finally Me for Real. And yes, we're going to have to get back to walking. Well, I guess we can't with this whole social distancing thing, but hey, whatever.
I know. How you doing?
All is well. Thank you for asking. Everything is great.
Yeah, I know you. I just returned from Buffalo, New York. You're a Buffalo, New York girl. The Buffalo is in it. Any Buffalo, New York, any New Yorkers in the house, holler at us. You know, I went to school in Syracuse, New York, Binghamton, New York.
Oh, I didn't know that. You were in the cold.
Girl, the freezing cold. But I know you just came back from Buffalo, New York, because one of your loved ones passed away.
It was my dad, actually. Yep, my dad passed away, and we put him away just a couple of weeks ago. He lived a good life, good man, was well loved. So if we could all go out the same way, saying that we really touched people, impacted people in a major way, he went out that way.
Wow. Well, our condolences are with you, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share and empower, equip, and encourage everyone, but particularly women. I see New York. I see y'all. Okay. And Celeste has 2 amazing books. The first one is called The Surrender Fast, and I took my church through it. I went through it. It was a powerful book, an amazing book. Before we jump into the second book, tell us about the Surrender Fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually in our 10th year of the 40-day surrender fast. I wrote it in 2010, not knowing I was even writing a book, but really just being obedient to God and just putting down to type what he wanted me to type, and ended up writing this book called the 40-day surrender fast. Again, we're in our 10th year. It has blessed so many people. Just only God can get the glory for that. Over 20,000 copies sold, translated into various languages. We get the awesome opportunity to travel the world teaching this whole philosophy of surrender. So I'm so excited about life and about what God is doing through that particular book.
Wow, I think it's a powerful book. And you know what? When I took my church through it, we went through the Lent. We did it during Lent season. So it is such a perfect book to go through the Lent season, because for me, I no longer fast at the beginning of the year. I actually fast during Lent. Is that the same for you?
You know what? We actually, plenty of groups go through the fast and Lent, but we actually host the global surrender fast every September to October. And we do it right there. And that really is kind of like the harvest season for the Jewish faith. And we do our fasting during that time. But we no longer do it the first of the year either. It seems like it has become so customary and something that we just do legalistically. So we actually do it later in the year.
Well, I'm excited. I love the surrender fast. but I love this second book, and this is where we want to hang our hats. This is where we want to just be for the next 20 minutes as much as we can. This book is amazing. First of all, thanks for autographing my book. All right. And this book is Making Peace with Hunger. Now, listen, I want y'all, if you ever had to deal with food and the battle with food, or you know somebody, a teenager, a family member, a friend, you got to tell them to jump on right now. Jump on right now on any one of my platforms. All right. I am Dr. Jazz. It's right down there. This is going to be one of the most liberating discussion. And it was such a great weather today that I went outside and read it. I read it before, but I reread it again. It is amazing. First of all, what made you decide to write a book on making peace with hunger for those who are tired of losing the food battle?
Because I was losing the food battle. So I had to write this book, and I had to live it first. So it's some of those things. Some things you get to write because you have head knowledge about it, and some things you can only write from your heart. And this is one of those topics that I really had to live through in order to get to the place where I could actually authentically show up to tell people that you can make peace with hunger. And the interesting thing about the title is it starts with food, yes, but then it trickles to every area of your life. That if you don't get control of certain areas, for a lot of us, it's food and our eating, you won't have victory in so many other areas of your life, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you do one area raggedy, it is going to trickle into so many other areas of your life. So this was an area that if I was going to be able to show up authentically, I had to let the Holy Spirit minister to me in this area, and I had to be obedient to what he was requiring me to do.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I love, first of all, I love your transparency. Everybody know Finally Me for Real for Friday is the real deal, the real conversation. This is not anything fake. So you talked about, I think, fifth grade, when you are in your book, fifth grade, when I believe it's fifth grade.
It's fifth grade. You got it.
Yeah. So talked about that whole thing when you first, for lack of a better word, food became your comforter, food became your God, food become at an early age. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we all, if you have issues around food, let me start there. If you have issues around food, it always has a root. So for me, that root to me being connected emotionally to food, and food, just as Dr. Jazz said, being my God, being my comforter, being what the Holy Spirit was meant to be, that started for me in the fifth grade. So going through school in Buffalo schools were very segregated when I was back in grade school, and I ended up going to a school because we ended up getting bused to a particular school, and they still congregated the Black children into one classroom. However, I excelled beyond what my classroom could really handle, and they ended up moving me to the quote unquote white classroom. So I ended up being the only Black child in that classroom, and one girl befriended me. Love her to this day. And one girl befriended me, and we became quick friends, and she was kind of ostracized as well because she was overweight. So she was ostracized for that, and I was ostracized for my color. So every Friday, you all, this is how the whole route got set up. Every Friday, Judy would bring me a snack. And she would bring me a snack that was pumpkin seeds and some kind of red chewy candy. And she would put it in this nice little paper bag and fold it up twice and slide it to me while we were watching our movie in class. And we had to be super quiet because we had a really mean teacher that year. So she would have got us if she knew we were eating. However, that salty sweet combination became what comforted me when I was feeling insecure, when I was feeling unloved, when I was feeling whatever the negative feeling might be. Because in that classroom, all I got heard, what I heard a lot was, Celeste, why is your nose so flat? Celeste, why is your hair like that? Celeste, why are your lips big? Celeste, why? So me eating that candy solved every problem in the fifth grade on Friday at 2:00 while we watched that movie in class. And unfortunately, that one resolution for a 12-year-old or 10-year-old even, I was 10 years old, that resolution at 10 years old became how I resolved every negative feeling all the way up until God really transformed me about a decade ago in this area of food. So it became, that was my go-to. I would go, I was feeling upset, I'll go eat. But you know what the crazy thing, Dr. Jazz,
What?
the devil is just a mess, because it not only became feeding my negative feelings, it became, oh, I'm happy, let's celebrate, let's eat. I'm bored, let's eat. It
Wow.
became some of everything. So
Wow.
it really took some time, years, decades, you all. So if you're struggling in this area, don't beat yourself up. Just be aware of it, because knowing something is a problem is 50% of the way of solving that problem. So just acknowledge it. Hey, yeah, you know what? This is an issue, and I really want to be delivered from this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your transparency and sharing that. You know, as soon as you said about the at 12, I think about that passage in the New Testament where Jesus is healing the woman who has an issue. And you know, Dr. Celeste, all of us have issues.
Wow.
Some people issue is food. Some people issue is wine. Some people issue is pornography. Some people, whatever. All of us have some form of issue. I never really struggled with food because I'm from a poor country. We didn't have enough food. You know what I'm saying? So I sweets and stuff. I remember when I first came to this country, somebody gave me a Hershey bar. I thought it was the worst thing I ever tasted because I've never had that. But that passage where Jesus is healing the woman who has issue for 12 years, in that same passage is a little girl who is dying at the age of 12. So you got 12 and 12, all right? There's an older woman who has an issue for 12 years and a little girl who's dying at the age of 12. And when I look at that passage, you know, there's Jairus who's in the text. Jairus is the father of the little girl. So you have a mother, you have a father, and you have a daughter, all in the same passage, who are dealing with their own issues.
Wow.
And the way you connect the dot with, as a little child at the age of 12, food became a comfort to you when you were feeling insecure, when you were feeling bad. But now, even when you were feeling good, food became a comfort to you. I believe that you can heal what you conceal. And I also believe that the first stage to deliverance is acknowledgement. When did you acknowledge your addiction, attraction, or love affair with food?
Yeah, great question. You're absolutely right that you cannot deal with anything if you conceal it and you keep it secret, because that's the way the enemy likes to deal with us, in our secret places. So I really had to learn to deal with it. You know, it was just so interesting. God is just pretty amazing. Just in case y'all don't know that, God is like really amazing. And he waits until the time when you are emotionally ready, a lot of times, to really deal with some stuff, because he sympathizes with us. The world hits you and beats you up, and I realize you get a substitute God, and he's in the Holy Spirit, and God and Jesus just get real patient with you. That's why we need to be really patient with people and let them work out their own soul salvation, because God was so patient with me. But when the time was right, and I tell people, when the fullness of time had shown up, it was time to be a big girl. And God started ripping off the covers, like, all right, here we go. We're about to do this thing. And I remember specifically how I really came into awareness of the whole fifth grade issue. Because mind you, I'm living my life. I'm not even thinking about fifth grade. And the Lord brought it to me so clearly. This was even after I was married. I was sitting there reading my Bible, and the Lord just drops in my spirit, I want you not to do sugar for the rest of the year. Mind you, it was February. The rest of the year, I was like, are you kidding me? So I started having this argument. I don't know if anybody else does this. We start having this argument back and forth. No, I'm not doing that. Yes, that's what I'm asking you to do. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Finally, I realized we are about to do this. I cannot believe this. I'm about to say yes to this. I literally, you all, fell off of my chair. I was on my love seat, fell off of my chair, and made this horrible cry from the pit of my belly. It was like this wail. Like, I cannot believe we are about to do this. And then I've had this thought, okay, I'm a dead man walking. That was the first thought I had. And then I had to analyze that thought. See, I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you. The Bible tells us to take every thought captive. It don't say ignore every thought, deny every thought. It says take every thought captive. Line it up under the will of the Lord. And I had to line that thought up. Why in the world would I say I was dead because I can't have sugar for the rest of the year? Are you kidding me? And it came to me so clear. I was like, Holy Spirit, what is that about? Remember Judy in the 5th grade? It was that clear. Remember Judy in the 5th grade? Wow. Well, you were still acting like a little girl who doesn't have a father or a little girl who doesn't have a comforter, you need to grow up. I have some things I need you to do, and I need you to let go of sugar. And I did it. And it was not easy. And I was a real cranky somebody for the first weeks, months, I don't know. But finally I said, you know what? I could do this, God. Okay, we could do this. And I ended up giving it up for the rest of that year. Now, I can't tell you the next year I didn't go back to sugar. Yes, it's been all up and down till I finally me, right, for real, right now.
Yeah.
I don't do sugar now. But it was a bumpy road. But that was how I got to the root of my whole addiction and why it was so important to me.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love the phrase that you use in your book, a cry of deliverance. And I do honestly believe that we all start there. You know, I remember 2 years ago when God told me, well, first of all, when I turned 50, and I think I had the conversation with you, where God told me, I want you to go 1 year with no relationship, no. Yeah. And you know, we went Panera, I'm crying. Right. You know, so I know about that because my fear was the fear of being alone. The fear of being alone. So I stayed in unhealthy or abusive relationship where I was not valued for who I am because the fear of being alone. And I you know my story. I tell people the just man falleth 7 times and rises up again. And when I first started off, I fell, got back up, fell, got back up. Did you go through any of that? Of the moment you put on sugar, did it absolutely go? Because I believe in instant deliverance and then sometimes gradual deliverance.
Hello. Sometimes you got to participate in your miracle. Sometimes, you know, we all want the quick fast, Jesus do your magic wand and it's over. No, sometimes you're going to have to go through some things. You got to learn some lessons. I love that you shared that, Dr. Jazz, about just that thing that God told you. This thing right here is on a pedestal. I'm going to need you to knock this off and not do this for a year. And you're right, that cried deliverance. But it definitely was not a perfect path. So the year that I told God I wouldn't do sugar, I didn't do it. So I did do that much. But then when I got out of that year, that next year, I was still, I was kind of like, I'm delivered. Hallelujah. I'm delivered. This is so good. And Thanksgiving hit that next year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have 1 slice of cheesecake. Ooh. And do y'all know I binged on desserts until January 2nd?
Wow.
I was like, oh, Jesus, I really don't have a handle on this. Unless you do a work, I'm going to really have to be in your face with this issue. You know what? Stop acting like you could go independent when God delivers you from something. If you want to keep your healing, you got to stay before the Father because the enemy, who is it who made the song Cycles? Jonathan McReynolds.
Right.
The enemy know your thing. Now, as much as you might act like it's not a thing, he knows your thing.
Yeah.
And if you ain't careful, he'll bring that right back in your face, especially in your weak moment. Not your, I got it all together, Lord. Yeah. It's when you feel weak.
Wow. Hey, everybody, I'm having a wonderful conversation with my good friend, Dr. Celeste Owens. Her book is entitled Making Peace with Hunger. We'll tell you how you can get it later on, but make sure you invite somebody and make sure you use the hashtag FinallyMe for the number 4 real. Hey, Celeste, you brought up something so profound a couple of weeks ago. And I don't eat sweets. But a couple of weeks ago, I got in the line. I went to the bank and I went to Chick-fil-A. I went to the bank to open a bank account. And coming home, I saw Chick-fil-A. I got in the line for 45 minutes. I'm in the line for 45 minutes, right, in the car going. And then I finally got up to the window, wind my window down. The woman with a little mask says to me, what would you like? And I said, I would like 1 chocolate chip cookie. She looked at me and she said, what? I said, 1 chocolate chip cookie. I stayed in the line for 45 minutes and I just ordered 1 chocolate chip cookie. And when I got that cookie, Celeste, I ate that cookie like that. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, I don't eat cookies. Do you know what it is? It was the moment when the young man was killed in Georgia.
Oh, and it took a sting on your heart. Wow.
And I was looking for something sweet.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced something sour. And so let's with COVID-19.
Yeah.
People who are dealing with anxiety, anxiousness, so many things. And their comfort is food. What do you say to them so they can win the battle over it?
Yeah, you know, especially the sweet foods, because the sweet foods allow for our bodies or our minds to actually release endorphins and things that make us feel happy. So that's why that sugar was attractive to you, because your heart was in pain and you were trying to figure out how to get these endorphins going. So that's what happens when people, especially now with this whole COVID-19, the news is saturated with it, the TV, your social media, everything is telling you is doomsday and there's so much to be worried about. But you have to, if you're going to master this thing in this COVID-19, I'm going to tell you, come out of this thing delivered from whatever has kept you as a stronghold. That you could come out delivered, but you know what it is? You're going to have to get in God's face. You can't do it on your own. This is not a willpower thing. This is not a, oh, I could do this and I got it, because you've done it before. I already know I did it so many times. You did it before, and then you dropped 10 pounds, you all excited and happy. Because I dropped 10 pounds, I'm just going to have some dessert because I deserve it. I just earned this thing. You got to get in God's face and allow him. And you know what? Let me get more practical than that, because I know that's super spiritual. So let me get more practical. This is how you do it. God, I want deliverance. So tell me the first step. So this is what the Lord did. When I first told the Lord, just before I even did the whole year without sugar, I was like, Lord, I know this is an area of problem for me. Would you tell me the first step? Because the reason I knew it was an area of problem, because my body has shown up to tell on me. I had breast cancer 12 years ago, you guys. The worst diet on the planet. Yes, I didn't feed my body well.
Wow.
So I was like, God, I need help in this area because I'm not making any changes. So you know what the Lord told me? The first thing he told me to do? Stop eating in bed, Celeste. Stop eating in bed. I was like, what? I'll do anything else but that. Why you pick that? Because y'all know I was getting my best eating on in bed at night.
Wow.
Best eating. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, had me a good book, had my book, had my snack. Oh my goodness. You know what? It worked until I got married. And then my husband had the nerve to complain. Why is all these crumbs in the bed? But you know what? That was the Lord said. And you know what? If you want deliverance, I'm going to tell you, you need to be obedient, because God knows you better than you know yourself. And he will give you the power. You can't do it until you say yes. So when he said, Celeste, stop eating a bit. No way. I can't do it. Oh, there's no way. No. When I finally said, okay, then, do y'all know it's like this supernatural power came over me? I could do this. Okay, I'm going to do it. And I stopped eating in bed. Y'all, that was like 8 years ago, at least.
Wow.
8 years ago. Stop eating in bed. It was that easy. I consumed so many calories at night. It was ridiculous. And bad calories, not good stuff. I want to eat broccoli. So I just did that. And you know what? God will give you one step. And then after the whole stop eating in bed, that's when he said, stop doing the sugar. And then the next thing he told me, go raw. Then he told, I've been through so many changes with the Lord, because you know what? The Lord, this is the whole point of this whole experience, you guys, and whatever else you need to let go of. God wants to use you. And if he can't use you, if you got idols hanging around, strongholds hanging on to you, he cannot use you. That's the whole point. You keep eating what you want to eat, God gonna still love you. You can eat yourself into a diabetic coma. You still gonna be the apple of his eye. He's still gonna love you. But you got to show him how much you love him by letting go of those things that stand between you and your greatness. That's really what it comes down to.
Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, everybody. This is unbelievable. Amazing interview with Dr. Celeste Owens, her wonderful book, Making Peace with Hunger. Thanks everybody for joining. Let me know in the chat if this thing is blessing y'all. Send up some hearts, send up some things. And we're going to be starting taking questions in the next 5 minutes. Celeste, you know what amazes me? The church has an AA meeting. They have divorce, classes. They have all these ministries. But the one thing that started all in the garden, because I tell people, of course, it's not about the food. It's not about the food. But the enemy uses those 5 senses in the garden. And isn't it amazing? The first temptation had to do with food. What's your take on that?
I have it in my book, Making Peace with Hunger. I talk about how it starts with food. Even that first temptation, you hit it around the head. First temptation started with food. Eve, you can have anything you want. Anything here, Eve. Eve, please, she had Adam. It was just her and Adam. She ain't had no competition, nothing. I'm sure she was gorgeous. Eve, you can have anything you want, but just don't eat from that tree right there. That tree right there. What she do? The girl go and eat from the tree. I'm like, are you serious, Eve? Even to this day, I'm talking back to the Bible, like, Eve, for real, don't do it. Don't do it, girl. She did it. She did it. And her husband followed suit. So they both ate. from the tree. The first temptation, bam, done. So it's an age-old way in which the enemy tries to
Oh
destroy
my
the purpose.
God.
It's through food.
It's so true, food. Even if you, like some of you might say, okay, that's the Old Testament. Well, you go to the New Testament, here's Jesus in the wilderness. Okay, and here's one out of all the three temptations. One of them is, why don't you turn these stones into bread? There comes food again.
Mm-hmm. And it was the first temptation he gave Jesus. He ain't say, go up and I'm gonna give you the whole everything that you see. First temptation, just turn this stone into bread. Isn't that amazing? He came to Jesus the same way. He came to Jesus when Jesus had just finished fasting, you all. He was in a place of vulnerability, and the enemy will come and try to put a hole in your armor when you are vulnerable. So you really got to get in a place where you are fully surrendered to God each and every day, not half of the time, each and every day. Every day I get up and say, God, it's your day. What you want to do? God, is your day. Your will be done. Because the enemy is out. You best believe you might not be fighting, but he's fighting you. He don't never let down his guard. You might be all complacent right now. He's not complacent. He figured out a way to destroy you. That's what John 10:10 tells us. So food is one of those easy ways he come at us, because guess what? Everybody got to eat. And church people love to eat.
Oh my goodness. Listen, they're not missing the service. They're missing the fellowship, the food after the service. Right. After the funeral, everybody comes back to the fellowship hall and eat everything that is practically unhealthy for us to eat. The Bible talks about when you get rid of a strong man, he goes and then the house is swept clean. And then he can't find another house. So I have a whole lesson about a demon. He gets 6 of his boys. He said, let's go back to the house and think. And if there's not something in place to what you swept out, then he comes back 7 times stronger. So now you have put off. I call it the put on and put off principle. You put off sugar and put off some stuff. Because I believe you're plant-based, correct?
You said, yes, I'm vegan now. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I went from junk food junkie to being a vegan. That is a miracle, y'all. Miracle. If he did it for me, he could do it for you if it's your issue.
How long did it take you to become vegan, and when did you begin that process? And first of all, can everybody give a shout out that she's a cancer survivor? We pray. We celebrate you. What made you make the decision to become vegan, and what did that process look like?
I wasn't obedient right away. Let's start there. I wasn't obedient. So I don't want anybody to think I'm showing up trying to act like I was perfect. So when I went vegetarian, you'll read about that experience if you do the 40-day surrender fast, or maybe you've already done it. So I went vegetarian that year that I did the fast, because that was the first fast God put me on. Interestingly enough, the first fast he put me on was a food fast. So I went vegetarian, and then there was a nudging in me some years later to go dairy, to eliminate dairy. It took me 3 years, you guys, to decide, okay. So we would do surrender fast, and I would give up dairy, and then I would go back to dairy. And then I would give it up, and I would go back. And I knew I wasn't supposed to go back, but I wanted it. That's what Pastor Jenkins says so much, my pastor. I wanted it. So finally, I ended up, this is what caused me to go vegan. And it was just scare straight. I got a lump in my breast, and I knew dairy is linked to breast cancer. I already knew that. I did all this research. In China, you guys, they don't have a dairy industry, and they have so little percentage of breast cancer, almost non-existent. So I knew dairy had a connection with breast cancer, but I kept on eating my pizza, because I talk about that in the book, how pizza is a root for me. So anyway, I got a knot in my breast. And the minute I felt it, I was like, oh, Jesus, if you just deliver me, I will come out of dairy. I know I've been disobedient. Oh, my Jesus. So it ended up, they looked at that knot, and it ended up being what they said was scar tissue or something like that. And I was scared straight. From then on, I've been a plant-based, no dairy, no meat girl for like the last 3 or 4 years now. I've been vegan. But I do want to say too, though, God has a custom-made diet for everybody. So don't listen to me talking all of a sudden tomorrow you got to be vegan. Right. Ask the Holy Spirit. You know my body. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. What should I be eating right about now? Now, I will say, most of y'all about to be vegetarian, because the meat industry is a hot mess right now. So y'all might need to get used to some vegetables, but do know that God has a diet that is just for you, and that you need to be dependent on God for what that looks like.
Yeah, I just love that statement because sometimes people hear speakers or somebody say, "Oh, I gotta be a vegan." You have to find what works for you. Of course, we know we stay away from all the junk food as much as we can. But you not only eat well, you also work out.
I do. So I work out too. I've always been a workout person because I never wanted to be overweight. It was more vanity than anything else. So I've always been a workout person since my teenage years. So I always would eat and work out, eat and work out. That was my cycle. But now I continue to work out because I know it's good for my health. It's good for my heart. It's good for your mind to exercise. You know, it gives you the opportunity to exercise your mind and get rid of some of those thoughts that keep you plagued when you're just in your head and not out moving and all of that. So I do work out, and I work out probably 4 or 5 times a week at least. Walking now for the most part, but I used to belong to the gym and be there. So, and you know what? Working out is one of those things that is just, it might not ever show up to be fun for you. It just might not ever be fun. But you say, Lord, this is a temple and I want to keep my temple. So Lord, would you make this enjoyable while I'm here? And the Lord usually does. When you get there, you start having fun moving. If you're taking classes or just walking, it becomes enjoyable for you. So I'm encouraging all of you to do that on top of really watching what you eat and all of that.
Yeah.
A holistic approach. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Again, I'm with Dr. Celeste Owens. You can start shooting your questions in. Celeste, can you take a few questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm happy to do
Start
that.
shooting your questions in and I will ask her. And while you're sending your question in, Celeste, tell them where they can get this. I think every church, we're going to be doing it. I told you that we're going to have a V group on making peace with hunger, a V group. We did the surrenders fast, and I have learned it's so much more than food. We tell people, oh, stop eating, or you're eating too much. But the emotion, the psychological, everything is so tied. It's not just about the food. It's more, it's deeper than that. And so you shed such an amazing light. For those of you who are tired of losing the battle and want to win the battle, of course, she got some of the favorite thing on the cover. My God, is that a cupcake on the top? My goodness, you got a cupcake. Is that a Dunkin' Donut? That's a Dunkin', and you got fries, and that's a double snack burger right there. That looks like a Coke or a Pepsi. My goodness. My goodness. And listen, God can't heal what you conceal. The purpose of this Finally Me for Real is not to condemn you. It's to give you the basic necessary tools so you can begin the journey of being a healthier you. Our goal is for you to walk in victory in your faith, your family, and your flesh. So send in some questions. Celeste, how can they get this book? How can they get your book?
Absolutely. So you could just simply go to makingpeacewithhunger.com. Makinghunger.com, and the information is right there. I so appreciate you, Dr. Jazz, for engaging your V groups with this book, because I feel like if every church in America could do this and get control in this area and whatever other area that they're hungry for, that we could be so powerful. The enemy is stealing our power with little tangible things like this, things that are insignificant. So I really appreciate you stepping up and really engaging your congregation in this. First Baptist is doing the same thing. I'll be there next week. It's First Baptist Church in Glen Arden, you all, Pastor John Jenkins. So excited that churches are starting to get on board with this idea that we as a body got to show up first. We should look so good and be so healthy that the world should be flocking to the churches to say, what must I do to be saved? Because y'all Jesus people are so healthy. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, and as soon as you mention First Baptist Church of Glen Arden, let's give a shout out to First Lady. It's her birthday today. Yes, happy birthday, First Lady. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. And so it's Making Peace with Hunger.com or org.com.
Yep,
okay, Making Peace with Hunger. All right, there it is. Somebody right there. Let's go there and let's this is a powerful book. I read it and it's that easy, and I'm proud of myself. I read it without eating any of these snacks that she had on the cover. So that's good. All right, we got a couple of questions. Let me ask them to you. Okay, it can be expensive to eat fruit and vegetables. Any suggestion what to do to change your diet? Send in your question. We got about 10 minutes, 5 minutes for questions. Send it in. What would you say in regards to that question? It can be expensive to eat fruit and vegetables. Any suggestion on what to do to change your diet?
It's more expensive not to eat. right? It's way more expensive. So you're really going to have to change your perspective about how much food costs, because food actually costs money. The other things that we're eating, that science experiments, things that have 20 ingredients, 15 ingredients, burgers that cost $1, fried chicken that you can get a whole meal for $2.99. That's not food. So you got to stop and thinking about that as food, because if you compare that with real food that was put in the ground, that a farmer did work, he toiled that ground, he sowed, he reaped, he put it on the market. Now you have to pay. Food costs money. So you're going to have to stop comparing it to stuff that does not cost money. Secondly, the Lord said he will supply all your needs, all of your needs. So if this really becomes something that is a priority to you, it becomes a need to you, God is going to supply. God will start to show up in an amazing way, either financially for you, sending you checks through the mail, increasing your pay, or he will have people bring you vegetables. But I'm telling you, he will do it. He did it for me, because my first thought, and see, this is the thing, if you think about, and I'm sorry I'm bringing this up because church people get kind of squeamish about the law of attraction, but the law of attraction says, I attract to me what I desire, what I want. Mm-hmm. And that's what you end up doing. When I started saying food costs money and God has given me everything I need to provide for me to eat this way, I have no lack, you guys. I have no want. But when I kept blocking it with the whole food costs too much, this is too expensive, I can't do it, I only attracted more if I can't. I wasn't able to afford it. So those are the ways I'm asking you to change your mind and your perspective about it. That is not expensive, is what it needs to cost. And maybe sometimes you need to not do some of the other things that you're investing your money in, so that you can really take care of your temple. Because if you don't, you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later, but you're going to show up and pay one of these days if you're not taking care of your body now.
Yep. And listen, we have no problem on the Finally Me for Real with the law of attraction. It's in the Bible.
It's biblical. Right.
Whatever man sow it, that shall he reap. Absolutely. And perspective is everything. We spend money on things that is unhealthy. And I totally agree with you. Somebody wants to know, in terms of, are the fruits and vegetable juice smoothies sold in the store actually healthy? Like the Naked, the brand Naked, for example?
Mm-hmm. Good question. You need to read the ingredients. I'm going to tell you right now, Naked is, not good at all. It's made by Coca-Cola. So just imagine if Coca-Cola produces a soda that has high fructose corn syrup and about 3 days worth of sugar in the one bottle. Are you thinking they really are going to invest and make a smoothie that's a good smoothie? No, Naked is not a good smoothie. But there are smoothies that you can get that are pre-prepared. So all you need to do is look at the back. And I tell people, this is how you know if something is real food or not, is by how many ingredients it has. So usually my gauge for if something is food and not processed is 5 ingredients or less. But if you're looking at a smoothie and it says beets, carrots, celery, it's saying real items, and it's 10 of those, that's fine. Also, just making sure it says something real and not adding a bunch of stuff into it. Especially if you can't read the ingredients, put it down. Run very far away from that food item, because it's not food. I hate to even call it food, because that's when we get mixed up and think we should eat it. But it's not food. So, but there are some good ones on the market that you can use.
Yeah. Dr. Celeste, you have kids?
Do I have children?
Yes.
Yes, I have a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old boy and a girl. And
this is a question, because, we have twins in our family. Sometimes kids, they don't like nothing healthy, nothing green. How do you, we have our twins, and one of them battled with sickle cell, but he's an amazing young man, and Cam and Chloe, of course, and we have to be able to, really get them to continue to eat healthy. What is your recommendation to parents with kids who runs from broccoli and carrots and celery sticks and peanut butter and just want pizza and chicken nuggets? Hi, Cam and Chloe. I know you're watching, so I asked the question.
You're telling on them. Yeah, you know what? It's a matter of changing your palate. So for little ones, though, in order to be able to change their palate, one thing you need to do is, I think sometimes parents get caught up in do as I say, but don't do as I do. So your kids over there eating all of the healthy stuff, then they looking at you eating whatever you want. Like, I ain't about to put up with this. So I think one of the ways you can engage children, though, is this is an easy way. And I used to do it with my kids when they were younger. Help them, they prepared the meal with me. And I'll still do it now. Because when they prepare the meal with me, all of a sudden they want to partake. Like, look what I made with my own hands, and they want to eat it. Secondly, Google recipes that include those kind of foods that would be tasty. So I would do, when I first started doing this, I would do kids friendly vegetable dishes, like things that people already figured out that kids will eat and they actually still are healthy for them. So I would do that, kid friendly vegetable dishes, kid friendly this, kid friendly, so that way I knew that they would actually want to eat those foods. And that was the way I did it. First of all, again, letting them help prepare and to cook the food. You eat it too. And then thirdly, just preparing things that are kid friendly, but include those kind of items. I used to get books from the library and everything.
Hey, it reminds me when my daughter was, Makita, her birthday is May 19th, born on Malcolm X Day. I think I wanted her to eat tomatoes and she just wouldn't. Now, I can stand tomatoes and I'm trying to give her tomatoes. Kita, tomatoes are good for you. It provides such and such. And she's looking at me and I said, okay, if mommy eat one, will you eat one? And oh my goodness, I had to eat that tomato. Oh, but now I actually love tomato and she loves tomato.
Wow.
So I understand it's not, we have to practice what we preach. We have to practice what we preach.
Yeah, and you have to introduce that item. If the kid doesn't like the first time, you have to keep reintroducing that item before their palate really makes the adjustment. So you could think about something you ate the first time. You're like, oh, I don't like it. But then somebody introduced it again and again. I'm saying, I like it. It's the same way with kids. Once you keep introducing it, don't give up the first time. I don't like broccoli. Oh, well, we won't have broccoli. Do it again. Try it again. Make it a different way. Whatever it is, until their palates get used to it.
Yeah. What's your typical eating day? I got room for 2 more questions. During the day, what's your typical routine, if you don't mind sharing?
Not at all. First thing I do, you've slept all night, you fasted all night. The first thing I do is I flush my body. I drink 16 ounces of water, put in lemon essential oil into my water and a half a squeeze of lemon. And that's the first thing I do before I put anything in my mouth. I flush my body. If you have an issue eliminating, you eliminate within 30 minutes. You should be eliminated 3 times a day. I'm just throwing that in for free. So then the next thing I eat is usually like a smoothie or something light. Some kind of granola cereal, maybe that's iffy, but usually more like a smoothie or something like that. Maybe even a whole grain bagel. I don't eat a whole lot at breakfast. That's not like my big meal because by the time I do that lemon water, I'm not even all that hungry yet. So I usually eat that like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then lunch is usually a bigger meal for me. So then I'll do lunch. So I'll do like a salad or I do maybe leftovers from the night before or, that's not helping you if I say leftovers from the night before. Because you're like, what did you eat the night before? So I do. So I eat a lot of, I eat plant-based, you guys. So what I do is I find a bunch of recipes that I like and I have some of them on my website. So I'll make like chickpeas or I'll make lentil soup or I'll make a veggie burger or I'm eating real food, you guys, believe it or not. People like, you just eat salads all day. I don't. I eat actually a full, well-rounded meal. And then at night I do the same thing. I'll make up whatever we're going to eat. Like, what did we have last night? We had salad, with cauliflower pakoras. It's Indian. So this is these little cauliflowers that you cut up into pieces and then you bread them and then you saute them in, I use avocado oil. That's my oil of choice. So I do that. And we had a big salad. That was our dinner.
Yeah.
I hope that sounded good. People probably like, ew.
It sounded good. Well, I eat like that. And I tell people, since we're in the house now, I eat like a queen in the morning. I eat like a servant at noon, and I eat like a bird at night. I'm pecking at night and stuff like that. So yeah, you on.
I just recently became obedient to the Spirit and stopped eating after 7, or no, usually not after 8 at all. So usually between 7 to 8, I stopped eating because you got. And I love that you eat light at night because you got to give your body a break, and it's got to be able to rejuvenate itself while you're sleeping. And if it's digesting food, it's not getting the opportunity to rejuvenate each and every organ one at a time while you sleep. So eating late at night is a huge problem that you should be able to hopefully eliminate with the help of the Holy Spirit.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, everybody. I know y'all got 99 questions. You need to go to makingpeacewithhunger.com. Download the book. We got 2 minutes, some fun question to ask you. Would you go for Beyonce or Rihanna? If you have a concert, Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
She said Rihanna. Bing, bing, bing. Are you a better dancer or are you a better singer?
Dancer.
Can you shoulder dance?
Can I show the dance? Oh, you know what? I'm so rusty. But if I had some music on, maybe I could do something. You know, a little something.
Okay, wait a minute. Y'all remember last Friday I won, and I'm still the reigning champ. Y'all get to vote. It's all about the shoulder.
Ooh,
Okay, let me see what you got.
wait a minute.
Y'all get the vote. Y'all get vote.
Got something on my shirt, I wanna get it on. Promise I won't keep you long, not at all. You ever felt as if you didn't measure up? Like what you had to offer wasn't good enough?
What y'all think? Who won? Who won? Who won? Who won? All right, let me see if I'm the reigning champ. Tell them how they can follow you on all your social media platforms.
That was fun, sis. Thank you so much. So you guys, you can follow me. The book is Making Peace with Hunger, and otherwise I'm at Dr. Celeste Owens on every other platform. So thank you so much, sis, for having me on today to tackle this challenging topic. I hope some people were blessed.
They were unbelievably blessed. Everybody can watch this because some of you were taking a whole lot of notes and got 99 questions. It's going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel, Finally Me For Real. All right, it's going to be on Facebook. It's on all of the platform. Make sure you get the book VGC. You know, it's a V group. It's one of the most powerful things. I love you, girl. I'm so proud of you, and thank you so very much. Tell your husband I say hi.
I will. Love you too. Talk with you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Hey, everybody, once again, thank y'all for joining me for Finally Me For Real with Dr. Celeste Owens. Was this a blessing to you guys? Let me know. Just a couple of quick announcements before we go. We're getting off at 6:30. Hey, I'm excited to show you guys something. Here it is, my brand new app. It's available in the App Store, in the Apple Store. It's available. I want y'all to go and download my brand new app. My goodness, in the App Store. Go ahead and check it out. Download my brand new app, and you'll be able to download sermons, listen to sermons. You'll be able to, it's so amazing. Please go in the App Store and download it. Android, it's coming. For those of you who still on Android, I hear God saying, get off of Android. God is in the iPhone. But listen, download my brand new app. You're going to love it tremendously. It's got everything in there. In fact, I'm checking it out right now. There it is. Everything in there. Right? Okay, there it is. You can check out everything you need in my brand new app. All right, all of the different things that you need. I'm excited. And also you can book me. Yeah, Dr. Jazz, I am still working and I am virtual. So you can book me virtual. Pastor Jazz, are you going to come to my church in Alabama? Yeah, virtual. Can you come to Mississippi? Yeah, virtual or whatever. Hey, next week, I'm so excited. Dr. Aisha Hilliard, Dr. Hilliard, all right, is going to be my guest next Friday on Finally Me For Friday. Hey, listen, before we go, if you've lost a loved one during COVID-19, we want to honor the loved one on May 25th. That's Memorial Day at 9 a.m. I'm doing a Memorial Day service. To honor those people at 9 a.m. If you want us to acknowledge your loved one first, our condolences go out to you. But if you want us to acknowledge them, make sure you send us a picture at victory@victorygracecenter.org. All right, hey, let's get out of here. Y'all know how we do.
Been listening to them lies. I had you switching up as if I can't truly be me. It isn't love. So I won't let your standards abuse me. So if that means me choosing you, I lose me. I'll be yelling next like, excuse me. You go right ahead and do you, baby, cause I'll do me. Oh, no, that ain't no chip on my shoulders. I'm just simply saying if I ain't your cup of tea, then drink soda. That's right, it's finally me and I'm bolder. So the counterfeit relationships, I won't lose sleep. Finally me for real. Wow. And my purpose is good to be free for real. And that all things I finally see myself. I know that I am mercy. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally me. never been afraid to voice your
Y'all got my app?
opinion.
You got my app?
They don't like what I
Got my
get, but they get offended. But ain't it crazy how fear can misguide your true intentions when you can be the very person in position someone else go in? You be feeling like your predicament somewhat hypocritic. I mean, if I ain't got it, how in the world I'ma tell you to get it?
I'm gonna
See, but we all play a part, baby. We all different. You just gotta decide what you gonna do with what you've been given. See, I learned that being humble show don't mean timid. And I learned that if you stumble, you can still finish. See, you ain't got to hide behind nobody. Stop pretending. If you really want it, then get off your behind and get it. So what if they don't see it? That don't mean he didn't give you vision. Shoot, I made them hate lemonade when they gave me lemons. What you got? This beautiful baby, start to finish. Still believe I want to be made creative. Finally me for real. Walking in my purpose. It's good to be free for real. Knowing that all things are working. I finally see myself. I know that I am working. I ain't even scratched the surface. He be blessing me on purpose. Finally, I convince her, try to convince her work was red, but God defends her days. So my good outweighs my bad days. He knows the plans he has for me. I won't let nothing get in my way. I gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it, yeah. Gotta go get it, gotta go get it.